Assalamualaikum and greetings. My name is Isabel Adani binti Badul Hisham from JLG1205A UiTM Sgamat Johor. Today I will be talking about my project, which is entitled Don't Touch My No Square. This is a children's pop-up book about the prevention of sexual harassment. As the years pass, the normalization of sexual education has been scrutinized by the older generation. This topic is still a bit of a taboo, especially sexual harassment. Sexual harassment could happen to anyone. There is no age limit to this. That is why the future of the generation should learn about this topic and not be ashamed of it, because it is the reality we are living in. That is where this project comes to play. This book is in story format, with adorable mushroom characters as a medium of storytelling, as children are easily entertained by fantasy-inspired creatures. This book would appear in physical form, because it would be much more enjoyable for children to have a hands-on feel of the book. Every page of the book has a pop-up mechanism that allows children to feel the characters and see it come to life in a way that could catch their attention when reading the book. There also would be interactive parts in the book when reading the story, with adorable mushroom characters as a medium of storytelling, as children are easily entertained by fantasy-inspired creatures. The story will be told in poems that have a rhythmic flow, which is inspired by Dr. Seuss's children's books. This book's primary purpose is to enlighten the knowledge of one of the more taboo topics that have been a problem for centuries. This book is about teaching the younger generation about sexual harassment, ways to avoid becoming a victim of sexual harassment, teaching children about being more vocal when they need help during a serious situation, and finally, escaping uncomfortable situations. For the entrepreneurial opportunities of the project, I have decided to accomplish 3 goals. First is long-term satisfaction. The pop-up book will have to be up to the parents' or teachers' expectations. To ensure that, the book will have to be A. in good quality, B. affordable, and C. the contents of the book should be kid-friendly. All of this is important because adults are picky with their children's educational or leisure books. They would make sure that their children will not learn anything bad or unnecessary. Next is networking. Networking makes it easier for businesses to venture further. For example, customer A would be satisfied with the product and would tell customer B about it, and the chain would go on. This would actually help promote my product and spread information to others for free, either through social media or word of mouth. Networking could widen the brand's influence on new customers and maintain a strong bond with existing customers. Next is profitability. This project is not profit-driven, but it is possible to generate some sort of steady income. It would take some time and effort for that to happen. Children's books do not get popular overnight. This book is to create an awareness for children to learn about sexual harassment and ways to prevent it. Next is methodology. The first process of completing the project is by determining the target audience for the product. Who's it for? Which demographic? And what do they get from this product? And is it a long-lasting product? These questions were asked by my supervisor so that I could narrow down the correct demographic and it would be easier to find a topic for the project. I have decided that my product would be catered to children from the age of 6 to 13. Second, drafting a story for my children's pop-up book. To create a good story for any book, forming a draft is always the first step. It took many trials and errors, but I finally decided to make the story in a poetry style. It would be easier for the children to read it without feeling as though the content is too wordy or boring. Third, the process of designing the suitable characters for the story. The process of creating the characters took quite a while because it was challenging to find inspiration from things around us. The uniqueness of a character is important so that it can be easily recognizable to the readers. The first inspiration for one of the characters is a pink jellyfish, but constantly drawing a bright colored jellyfish tends to strain the eyes. So I decided to choose another type of inspiration, which is a mushroom. Next, the making of the pop-up book prototype. After creating the book's final draft and character design, the book prototype has finally begun to be pieced together. It took lots of practice to get the pop-up mechanisms to work, and most of the techniques for the pop-up folding are referenced and inspired by YouTube and Pinterest. Then, the final product is formed, which includes the text of the story, the pop-up illustrations for every page along with the illustration for the book cover. Lastly, I would promote the book on various online platforms in order to get engagement. Let's proceed with the discussion and results of the outcome. The results and outcomes of the project have been collected within the weeks of preparing the project. I have compiled a few questions regarding the project and the participants that answered the Google Forms. There are a total of 66 participants that answered the survey. The results of the survey are simplified into 3 different graphs. The first one is about the storyline of the book. The surveys were asked about their take on the storyline of the book and whether it is suitable for children or the opposite. Located on the left side of the screen are the results based on the survey. The majority of the surveys gave positive feedback on the storyline. They stated that the poem format is easy for the children to read, although 2 participants said that the children would find it difficult to read due to the level of English that the book has. For the outcome of this section, there were minor changes made in the language aspect of the book. Simple English were used instead of bombastic words to ensure that the children can easily understand the book's content without feeling intimidated. The second part of the survey is about design, such as the design of the characters, the functionality of the pop-up mechanisms, and the interactive designs of the pop-up. Based on the graph on the left, the majority of the participants liked the design and pop-ups in the book. But there was one survey that found the color palette of the characters to be rather gloomy and interactive pop-ups to be rather confusing. The outcome? The colors were unaltered because it is a dark color palette. It is used to fit with the theme of the book, which is a serious matter. Children are smarter than they look. They could figure out how to operate the tabs on the book. Therefore, I include additional tabs that were made for more interactive activities. For the overview of the book, the majority gave positive feedback. The book was enjoyable, as said by one of the participants. The book was different from other children's books and was creative. Learning about sexual harassment does not have to be for when you get older. Learning early would have its perks and might save one's life from further damage through emotional, physical, or mental state. Although there were some disagreements on the color palette, to make it suitable for the theme of the book, it should remain the same. For more behind-the-scenes look on the project, you can follow Sunling Enterprise on Instagram. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.